Hello and welcome. It is the ninth day of September 2019. My name is Derek. This is the Money Chart channel. All bets, trades, and of the like, within each his own risk and their own reward. And you know what? Not much overall still going on. It's another day. It's another 9,681 Satoshi. And the Bitcoin price is just hanging in there amongst the 18 average of highs. It's all yada 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 really until it does something. Getting above this level of resistance at about 10,760 in that ballpark area. Really over notice like 11 to 1, so 11,111. That's when I'd see a clear break above this high in here. And then maybe we can attempt to make a move between 12,000 and the high to mid 13,000 area. Of course, any failures or not breaking resistance means ultimately at some point there's going to be weakness amongst the 18 average of lows. Again, I guess it'll be another test in the previous low multiple times hit. And it's, of course, in a range of about, I'd have to say 9,700 down to, well, I guess if we go to this low, 91. Switching over to silver and at a little under 18 now, 17.983 on at this time now. And this is the daily chart, so into the 18 average, it's been making higher highs, higher lows, and it could easily still go below it. That's just the first time it will go below it pretty much in this run. I mean, briefly did here on the 5th of July. As there's a lot of this empty space, okay, we're going to make a low. Probably it'll be a higher one. Of course, it's bullish and bearish to make a higher low. Well, why is it both? Well, on a bearish level, if it's able to come deep enough, that will make it become a that of a higher or lower high will be a possibility moving forward. And also, regardless if it's able on the next low, that becomes higher, whether it's at 17 or 16. If you do make that and then you break below, well, then the next low would obviously be lower. But I don't think that's going to happen. Of course, you never know. The price is going to do what it is, and I can't control the movement of this price, nor should I ever be able to have any of that kind of control. And there are people in this world that, of course, do. And I'm not going to try to guess any names, but it's kind of obvious that that's the case. Now, with a lot of markets, that is too. There's always going to be bigger players than others. Okay, let's finish off last weekend. There was this move I was talking about, a very bearish pattern. Well, nothing yet has come into play to and or to change the a bearish the bearish pattern, the bearish setup. Support. Well, right now it's holding on to it like a thread in here. So it's should push the wrong button. I probably should be able to push. I'm just trying to move that drawing tool, and I think I'm just trying to find my. There's a symbol to remove the garbage can, if you will, but I can't find it. But it's holding onto this like a thread, so it's favored as if it's going to do it. The more times it tests it, the more likely it is that you take it out when you see all the magnitude of these lower highs. And we're still due for maybe another lower high too, because again, 5 periods actually just showing weakness and hanging in there amongst the lows. Or it could come up and make a move to like 1809, 1810 and make a lower high to this. That can still happen. But it has been holding on to the high 17s, low 18s like a thread for for the last few hours, the entire rest of the day from this rally started at 12 o'clock, so since that failed rally. And amongst the short-term plays via the 15, even before this rally that came up at 12 o'clock, there was the one that started this morning at about 7-8, managing to get above this level of resistance, but not holding this area where we came from. And in turn, after a matching low, well, there's your lower high. There's all of this matching low. And yes, we can see there hasn't been much for resistance. It could test some of this area in here. But on any break below the support, we could be seeing like 1744 or 17 and a quarter relatively fast as well. And now let's move on to one of the big movers today as far as altcoins. Ether Party, ticker symbol Fuel, which earlier this afternoon got up to 92 Satoshi after being down at this 30 area for so long, now up to 48 or down to 48, depending on how you want to look at it, because well, it's lost more than or about half of its value. And it's not quite doubled, 60, two thirds, 66%. of a gain from this low, and well, almost double from this 25 Satoshi low not that long ago on September the 6th. But when these markets are ready to go, these kinds of moves are going to happen. And to me, it's almost impossible to tell when you're already at this stage here how big this was going to go, because this could very easily top as well. Maybe you think, oh, there was lower volume to here. Maybe. And of course, the big volume's always going to come in moves like this. And like a lot of these coins, you have a big move up. It's going to happen fast. And having these sharp sell offs that occur after the fact, well, that's part of the game. Of course, if you're trading this, regardless of what you're trading this against, trading against the dollar, trading this against Bitcoin, trading this against whatever in a ratio trade, it means if you're available to go through this, there's a lot of sell opportunities for whichever you're trading this against. So in this case, against Bitcoin, you're able to sell some here at like 86, and if you're able to time these lows and bottoms, well, that's fantastic. I mean, you feel like 95.78 Bitcoin when you could do it all the time, over and over and over again. But the opportunities are there. Buy at 60, sell at 90. Well, it's already back down to 48, but that means the opportunity to buy at 66 after you sell it there, or buy at 70 or whatever, and then maybe look to sell at 83. And when it rallied up here, well, it didn't hit 83. That's going to be part of this game as well. On the 3 hour term, it's what it looked like before this broke out. It was just chopping around between 34 and 26. And well, let's take a look at the longer term. Let's go to the daily next. And from what it lost from this June 21st, June 26th high down to this low at around August the 7th, well, that's about 1.5 months. So what it lost in a month and a half, it was able to get back in one day, which means regardless of what this you were buying this against, long, long wait, maybe not able to sell much, because from this move here, say at the end of June, you have a low of 58 and a high of 72. Maybe pick away at some of the volatility, but even then, who's to say you're going to time the bottom? Maybe you're buying every Satoshi point, nothing wrong with that in some strategies. But maybe you were buying at like 67, looking to buy next at 53, and then you were looking to sell at 78, and you missed those moves that you normally would make if you did buy at these lows. That's going to be part of it. But when moves like this happen, either you should be, well, I believe as an active trader, one way or another, you should have your orders ready to go. So even if you don't see this, maybe it'll be 4 or 5 hours from now, you're going to come home from work, you see this, or you just do this as your daily thing, and oh my goodness, fuel went up today, and I had my sell order hit at 37, and then again at 49, and then again at 65, then again at 82. And now, in this case, hypothetically, if it's this time, oh, but it's down to 49. Maybe I'll buy that 82 back now. Able to do things of that venture. And as far as where this has been, I'm going to have to multiply this by 100,000, and I'm going to switch this to the 3 day. But this was a lot higher before, over 3,000. And that's how it would look. So there's that move from December 12th, 2017, where everything else was going up, to January 10th, 2018. Hey, do what else the market does. Go up and top at right around the exact same time as everything else, which it did. And obviously, every rally attempt since then has ultimately ended in a failure. This failed. This ultimately would fail. But yes, it never did even come back and really technically test it, because it just pierced below it. And this would be the third rally attempt. And here we now enter attempt number 4. Whether it'll succeed or not, well, time will only tell. But like always, it's really important to hold where it came from. If it makes a move below the 18, make sure that that's the key low. This wasn't a key low in here. It went below it and then broke this later. Then you had this layer of low. So just because it goes below it, and in this case here, the fact that it went below and matched this low, because from this low to this high, it was really important to hold this. And when it didn't, then you shouldn't be all that shocked to have situations like this to occur. And then the same thing would be happen if this level fails and it ends up breaking down below this. Maybe we'll be trading this on a different market of, like the Ethereum market would come next, I suppose. The dollar market, because you might not be able to trade this against Bitcoin if it breaks below the 1-2 Satoshi. And I'm not saying it will, because it possibly could. And we could be at the like amazing low levels. These things could come back to like 500, 13. all that sort of deal, and have phenomenal moves. That's the craziness of the movements of these coins, that they have had major up moves in the past, and of course, as we see here as well, major down moves that go with it. But in perspective, this move here from the low, like 230 and change, up to about 3,000, that's about a 12 or 13x move. If it were to have a 12 or 13x move from here, we're talking about going like 3, 400, which would be back in here, and that would be a huge move. And is it a possibility? Yeah, but I don't know if it's probable, especially with these kinds of coins that are like the fuel ones, which probably can't. I know there's T fuel as well for theta, and myself trading it. I am trading it very aggressively in markets like this, meaning I'm looking to aggressively sell T fuel, my T fuel in any good rally attempt possible, knowing that I'm going to have to play a market like this. So in this case, if I was playing it the same way, to me this would be aggressive time to be selling coins and really not looking to buy back until at least it would be down to about 31 or 30. If, of course, I was trading this, I think I might have like barely none of this at all, because I think I need this just to trade my, or move my Neo around in my Atomic wallet. If you have Neo on there, I remember putting it on there just to test the wallet and test the blockchain for time and stuff like that. And I put my Neo on there, send it to the Atomic wallet. Okay, great. Now let's send it back to Binance and see how long it takes to go to my Binance wallet. That's very important knowledge for me to know. And I tried to do it, it wouldn't send. I'm not trying forever, like many times over. And then I thought about the fuel to have, so I just deposited a hair small amount. And the second it was deposited, boom, the Neo went off the market to Binance. And okay, I guess I needed some of that coin just to send the coins. And you don't need much at all because I literally bought like 7 cents worth, and that's pretty much what I would own, if even that. Okay, then, so that will conclude this video, and have yourself a great day. Bye bye.